Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how to make thin egg omelet strips. Some people call them golden egg threads. In Japanese it's called kinshi tamago. This is a very useful recipe for the tops of hiyashi chuka, somen salad, shirashi zushi. So a wonderful technique to learn. So let's get started. First of all, turn on the gas for your flame so that it is at a medium-low heat. So I've turned it till it comes on, but I'm going to turn it down till it's a bit low. A key point to this is don't try to cook it too fast with a high heat, because then you'll end up with brown burnt eggs. And so to have them nice bright yellow, you want to be cooking your eggs at a low heat. I'm going to give that a moment to warm up, and then I'm going to put a little bit of oil, maybe I like to use less than a tablespoon, even a teaspoon. So I put about that much oil into the fry pan, and different ways of doing it, but please be safe and careful not to get burnt. As it gets hot, you can just kind of spread it around the bottom of the fry pan. Sometimes I just help spread it with a paper towel that's wadded up, and I have my fingers kind of holding the tail up here and not getting connection to the oil there. So you have it lightly coated on the bottom with oil, and then I have taken 2 eggs here and I have them mixed up. Some people like to add sugar or dashi flavoring to their eggs. I'm just going to do plain egg and let the seasoning for my salad give that, but I kind of prefer not to have sweet eggs, but you can add that if you want. So once you have, you can at a distance, I'm not touching that, but I can feel the heat generating. So then I know that I'm at a high enough heat. I can go ahead and I'm just going to pour, I'm holding the fry pan in my right hand here, and with my left hand I'm pouring, and I start in the center and I just pour some egg, and then I swirl my fry pan until it goes around. And if you need a little more, but I want to get it as thin as possible, I'm going to put some in that space right there. And shake your fry pan so that you don't have any holes in your kinshi tamago. I still have some, so I'm going to put a little more egg there and there. Okay, and then let the last bit run around, and you can see how I'm swirling the fry pan like this. Okay, so I'm just going to go around and then let that set heat evenly on the heat. And since we have non-stick surfaces, make sure to use plastic utensils and give it time to cook enough. Sometimes if you try and flip it too soon, your egg can break apart. So I'm going to just kind of start checking the edge here, and as I go around the edge, I can kind of get a feel for when it's going to be ready. The other thing that I'm doing right now is where it's very thin on the edge, I just kind of am pressing it down a little bit, so that will make it easier to flip. So I'm just going to lift that edge up, and then I can tell it's getting close to being ready to flip. As I move the fry pan, it's still stuck on the bottom, so I'm just going to try and see if I can get it to where it's, okay, now I'm going to go like this. Okay, so I'm going to just literally put it in here and flip it like that, and then cook it just for a few seconds on the second side, enough to dry the heat so that we don't have any raw egg right there. And then once it's like that, then I'll bring it over to my cutting board. Let's see, I'll try and get my cutting board in front of the camera. I'm going to turn the flame off right now. Okay, and I'm just going to, because of where the camera is, I'm going to just bring my cutting board, take it over to my cutting board, and slide it out, let it fill over. So I'm going to just get it onto the cutting board, and then flip it back open like that. So there is your egg crepe, and then the next thing we need to do is slice it into thin egg strips. There's different ways of doing it that I've done. Let's see if we can get this to where we can see everything here. Okay, so I've got more egg left to do another one if I like, but when I do this at home a lot, I often just cut it into thirds this way and stack the strips, and then just cut julienne strips thin along that way. Today I'm going to just practice the chiffonade method, which is when you roll it up and coil it. And so I just start at the bottom and roll it away from me, and roll pull it all the way up to the top. Then take your knife and since I'm left-handed, I'm starting on the left end, but if you're right-handed, you'll start on the right end. When you're making chiffonade strips, you want to aim to make your slices as thin as possible. So I'm aiming for 1/16 of an inch or 1 to 2 millimeters and go as thin as you can all the way across. And as you get better, you'll be able to go faster. It is a little trickier with wearing gloves, but that's part of our protocol for being able to cook safely in the kitchen. And then you just keep on going like that. And if your strips are a little bit thicker, it's okay. They're still going to taste the same, but it does give a nice thread-like appearance when you have the small, skinnier strips. So just aim to do that. I'm just going to go a little quick here. And if you keep your strips coiled up like that, it can look very beautiful on top of your salad or sushi, however you want to do it. But just go ahead and at the end, you end up with very beautiful, and I can see I'm getting a little faster. So when you go faster, you get thicker. So take the time to cut the thinnest strips possible. And here we go. Okay, so then I will repeat that with my leftover eggs. 2 eggs can actually give you 3 crepes that you can slice. When you're cooking for a crowd, that's nice. But egg is a great source of protein, and you can see you could just lay little coils like that on top, or you can just spread it out like this, and gives you beautiful golden egg threads, kinshi tamago. So have fun, happy cooking. Okay, here's a continuation of the eggs that I had left. I've got 1 more out of 2 eggs and another half, and you'll notice I just made it into a half shape so that I could have it thick enough all the way around. And I'm just going to slice it in half this way and stack these strips like this, and then turn it like this, and then I'm going to cut it in half again and stack this pile over here like this. So I've got a nice pile of egg strips like that. This is actually, it looks like about 6 layers. Okay, and then I'm going to turn it like this, and if you're right-handed, start from here and just cut the thinnest strips you can. I'm going left-handed style, so again, doing this. It's different than the chiffonade, but you can still get very thin golden egg threads. I'm sorry, I said it wrong in the other part of the video. So cut it as thin as you can to get that thread-like texture. And if you kind of get that rolling motion with your knife going like that, it helps you to increase your speed gradually. And then finish your strips like that. So 2 different methods of getting golden egg threads, but either way, I hope this becomes a technique that you find useful and be able to incorporate in your cooking. Okay, and that's more golden egg threads.